Hey everyone, it is Laurie Delcradecki, and I'm here for another episode of Laurie's Lessons. And today we are going to talk about how to break the cycle of excuses. And so every single one of us battles that from time to time, right? Excuses. Like those sneaky little justifications that, they sound reasonable, feels comfortable, yet they quietly steal our progress, our joy, and our purpose. We all have them though, right? Like, I'm just too tired, or I don't have time. I'll start at Monday, or I'll start after the holidays. But here's the truth. Excuses are the comfort zone's best friend and growth's worst enemy. So, I want to help you break that cycle because your breakthrough is just waiting on the other side of your excuses. So, what is the root of those excuses? Why do we make excuses in the first place? Most of the time, those excuses are simply fear in disguise. Is it fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, or maybe even fear of success? But excuses are how we protect ourselves from disappointment before it ever happens. We just tell ourselves, I can't. So we never have to find out if we actually could, right? But here's the reality. Either you'll find a way or you'll find an excuse. And the one that you choose actually determines your destiny. And so you can't have the excuses and the excellence living in the same space. When you start to recognize your excuses for what they really are, which is a protective shield against growth, then you start to reclaim your power. And so once you get that awareness, that could be your turning point. That's the first step to breaking any cycle is awareness. When you catch yourself saying, I can't, just stop and ask yourself, is that true? Or is that just comfortable? Is that just an excuse? Do I really not have the time? Or am I just saying that because I could find the time if I wanted, right? Like the same thing, like, are you not exercising because you don't have the time? Or is it because you're just choosing to not find the time? Most of the time, it's not the truth. It's just a habit. And habits are built by repetition, but they also can be broken by a new repetition. So you could start changing one phrase in your vocabulary instead of the I don't have time, say I'm choosing for it to not be a priority right now. Ouch. Did that hurt? Stepping on your toes, right? Because it's honest, right? And I have it too. I'll be the first to admit that. I love to say that I don't have the time to get on that treadmill or that elliptical that's literally right in the next room. But that small shift will create accountability. And when something really matters, you'll find a way. And when it doesn't, you'll find a reason. But choose honesty over comfort because honesty opens the door to change. And taking responsibility is freedom. The next step is not blaming, not guilt, but ownership, responsibility. Responsibility isn't a punishment. It's freedom. Because once you admit I have a choice, then you also realize that you have the power to change the outcome. You might not control every situation, but you can always control your response or how you respond to it. And that's where your victory begins. That's where excuses lose their grip. When I was rebuilding my life after loss, I had every reason to give up. I could have lived in those excuses forever. And sometimes I wanted to. But God reminded me, Laurie, you still have a choice. And that one truth became the turning point for everything in my health, in my business, in my ministry, and in my relationships. And it could be yours too. So let's start replacing those excuses with empowerment. Once you recognize and take ownership, you replace excuses with empowering choices. So here's some ways. Replace I can't with I can learn. You might not know how yet, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Replace I don't have time with I will make time, because priorities reveal themselves through your calendar. Replace it's too hard with it's worth it. Hard doesn't mean impossible. It means valuable. And then replace I failed with I learned. Every setback contains a seed of wisdom if you choose to see it. Every time that you make that switch, you're literally retraining your mind to focus on the possibility instead of on the limitation. So start with faith over that fear. Breaking the cycle of excuses is not just a mindset shift, it's a spiritual one. Because when we rely on our own strength, we run out fast. But when we can lean into God's strength, we realize that we were never meant to do it alone. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's not just a nice verse, even though it's one of my favorite verses, but it's your permission slip to stop waiting and to start walking. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to choose faith over fear. So today I want to challenge you. Think about one area of your life where you've been making those excuses and make one empowered choice instead. It could be a health choice. It could be a financial choice. It could be a relationship choice. It could be a business goal, a business choice. Or it could also be your walk with God. Write it down, pray over it, and take one small action. Just one. Not something major, just one small action. But remember, you are one decision away from a completely different life. No more excuses. It's your time to rise. It's your time to choose. And it's your time to live intentionally. Because remember, we all have choices. Thanks, everyone. I hope this helped you tonight. Please leave your comments below. Let me know if this helped you. Share it with somebody that could use it. Have a great night, everyone.